Hello everybody, how good of you to join. Welcome back to 2017. At the beginning of this episode I would like to continue right away with some expansion so we can upgrade now lots of these buildings. We have the production for it, and as we can see I would also like to continue now towards this area here with my expansions, with my upgrades there as well. Oh, we have also unlocked a few more thingies here. There it is. The champagne is now finished and it needs sugar and wine. Alright, so the wine we have in Neon, we don't have sugar anywhere. So sugar is another fertility that we will need to unlock, but I can see that this is also a rather simple production chain. We might actually make it in Neon, for all I know, because we already have that here, and the sugar I can get over here too, and then we just have one more production chain. Fantastic, no problem here. The problem is the production for all the building materials that I need for so many upgrades, basically. Now let's just continue there with the upgrades. Over here, I think I will need a casino. How's it looking? Still looking good so far. And yes, I can really take all of them into account there. And the blue one, of course. There we have it. More upgrades for the world.
Yours is a treacherous plan.
And Thor Strindberg doesn't like it when I expand my city. But we need to, in order to survive. Lots and lots of new buildings, perhaps. Yep, the big ones also would like to upgrade. And for those to upgrade... Information, what? Yeah, there I do need more information. We have the information center here. Another one is over there. So for this area, I do need an information center as well. That we might be squeezing in like that. I guess. Yeah, this is fine. Behind the casino. Information center. And then we can just have basically more buildings here then as well. And they already have then all the demands they need. Or they need for the next civilization levels. With that, let's just upgrade those guys.
It was in the news. That's
and those guys, lots of upgrades, but we need the taxes. And here, those guys also now to the highest level. Fantastic. Oh, and once again, we have unlocked more building options. That is some ornaments that we have, and the heavy weapons also. This one allows us to have the high-tech materials. Oh! And we have also unlocked, oh my goodness, shares. And that's a huge problem though, because the shares will allow other people, as it is already doing Vadim Sokov, purchasing shares from our island. And nope, we're not getting that money, right, if he purchases the shares there. And if he takes all of them, he can take over Cyberpunk. So we have a bit of a financial pressure now as well. I can also upgrade my trading post there once more to another level. Looking really cool then, with all the little things happening here. And continue with some upgrades. Those guys want it. Basically only cost me one tool. For the big ones it costs significantly more, right? So the big ones, the big buildings, that's a bit more. Alright, and we are positive again, despite not even having raised my taxes at the moment. So if I push my taxes higher, then this is going to be even more. There is a building here that doesn't have the activity fulfilled. Let's get rid of it, and instead of that we might be having some ornaments in this area then too. And I can upgrade those guys. And yes, fantastic. And thus we also see the first high buildings just around our future monument site then. And I'm out of tools. So I'm going to wait a bit now. How's it looking with my consumption rate? We have still alcohol and fish. Convenience food and plastics also looking fine. No problem so far. Now let's go for Omicron. I think we should be having some fuel rods in now. 17, very good. 17 fuel rods. We have enough building materials. I think this is a good moment to build our nuclear power plant. I will probably... where should we build it? Far away. Over there, where we have the industry already. And here we can now build it for good. And this time it'll work, right? This time we do have everything we need for it. It's also close to a depot. I'm going to leave a bit of space there perhaps. And there we have it. We definitely will need some defense around it though, because if it's getting destroyed, I think it will pollute the island quite a lot, quite significantly. And it's a very expensive building. But it is producing now, has the fuel rods, and it's going to produce a lot of energy. And we're going to need all of that for Omicron. Now in Omicron, I promised we would be starting with our tech city. And that's exactly what I'm intending. So we're going to have now the techs as our latest civilization. It's a whole different level of people living here then, as opposed to the Tycoons, for example. So it's really high tech and yeah, also quite expensive to maintain all of them. Let's have our first community center, perhaps not the most efficient harbor area that we have, but it's still going to work out here. And around this one we can now have our techies. Let's get the first ones out there. The blue district is going to be first. Once again, we have different type of color districts than here as well.
Building selection
And it's basically
expanded.
costing us some building resources. I think that should be fine. I think they are going to need fish. He likes it, of course. We are increasing our influence with him that way. And then we got the lab assistants now. Let's raise the taxes a bit. And they do require fish. Now fish is the first good that we're going to need then in this area. Let's have a bit of fish production in the harp area. So 1, 2. Let's make 3 out of it. The fish is getting carried then anyway. I don't think we even need a road.
Fire danger eliminated.
And we have fire. Oh yeah. But that's Tycoons. Now we should not get mixed up about the buildings.
Construction
If I build now
opportunities
Tycoon buildings here,
expanded.
they would not have any demands met. Or tech buildings, that is. Fantastic. This is now growing. They are lacking fish though, so this is coming in node. Very good. The fish. And then they would already require functional food. Now that is not something that I have on any of my islands. Functional food is something you need algae production for, and that is only something you can have in your deep water base. That is for later, right? For the algae. Right now I really just want to make sure they have the fish, they have it, so they can grow in here. And oh, I'm losing a lot of influence with different factions there at the moment. I think they will also need a building, right? The information center. So I'm going to leave a bit of space there in the center. And then we might just continue with more techies. I would like to leave this space there for now because I really have no idea how big it is. How many more people do we need? Oh, we need researchers for that. They don't need anything else. They certainly do. Ah, the laboratory. They need this one. Not that many lab assistants missing anymore. There it is. Very good.
Available for construction.
And yeah, we can squeeze it in just fine in the center here. It's taking most of the city into its account. And
All
around there we can build more techies. Epidemic. Oh, in Neon now too. So we are going to need a hospital in Neon. Ah, such a big building. It's a total waste in my opinion. We could have it right here beside those buildings and get rid of the street there, and we should be able to squeeze it in. There it is. I don't want to lose my cities to any of that. Right, I think we still need some building materials. We should have most of it. Alright, in Omicron we do now have all the resources. Let's start with the lobsters. For the lobsters, I basically only need to have them close to the warehouses there, so I won't have another port authority. Unfortunately, port authority buildings are rather expensive. 10 tools it costs me, and I do need them everywhere where I want to have the lobsters. And I would like to have 3 lobsters for now, so also here. Right, and another lobster production. So we have 3 of them, and then I think around 4 of these truffle farms we could have as well, and this should do the trick. We have the nuclear power plant with 700 energy surplus. That makes it possible for us to also have this deacidification station that I would very much like to have here, because the aqua balance is really low. I could actually build 2 of them now, so let's build 1 here. This is doing its job, and then perhaps, where do we have some more industry? Down here perhaps in the harbor area. Right, this should improve my balances quite a lot. Let's unload the remaining resources that we have.
Eco balance.
Very good. The ship is coming in just in time, giving us some more tools. And we can now... Oh, by the way, we've also received a quest, a protection quest. Yep, let's send fleet number 1 to its protection. Gives me 5,000 credits and a bit of influence and licenses that we can use them. Now, finally we can start with that. The truffles, let's build them. And 4 of them are thus working. Very good. with 3 lobster farms. I think the ratio should be fine, the ratio, and if not, then not. This is looking rather, well, brutal here, the way we get the truffles out of the ground. We're just digging them up, I think. And yep, the only thing we now need is these gourmet factories. We can build a few of them. I think 2 should be fine for starters. And yep, since... Oh, another unknown share has been lost. Oh, look at that. Thor Strindberg is starting to build it up here. Let's get the shares ourselves. But yep, the financial pressure is increasing. Speaking of that, really quickly, let's see if we can upgrade a few more buildings. Am I losing anything here? I don't think we're losing too much yet. Alcohol is going down a bit, but that is easy to rebuild, to regain again. Let's just upgrade a few more, as long as we have some resources. Oh, tools. Where's my tools? We should have more tools than that. I think there's the building material trader, and he will unload me some tools here, please. Let's just take them. Upgrade those guys there. There we have still a few of the smaller ones.
TGIF. And have
Quite
a
a lot
weekend
though.
off too.
And perhaps here. Very good, that's it. And let's increase the taxes for all of them to yellow again. And thus we should be getting a lot of money. And we are at 2,300 almost. Very good. Of course, this is going down now again with the increased production that we need. And also, it goes up then again dramatically once we have the gourmet food coming in. Over here in this little sector, we could have our factories for that, since it's a rather remote area. And there we have the first. Let's have 2 of them. And we'll just see if that is enough. It's definitely not enough though. I would have to have 3, to be honest, or even 4. Let's make 4 working, and then we should be having enough for now for Cyberpunk. And while we wait on that, where is my alcohol? Over there. Unfortunately, alcohol is going down, so we can add a few more, and let's also upgrade them. With the 3rd level, they would have drones, or actually with the 2nd already. Drones, no, with the 3rd, right? Because this drone flying around here is from the Port Authority. If I want to have drones here, I would have to upgrade them once again, but that is rather expensive. Now, another alcohol farm, and here. And we should be able to squeeze it in just fine. And perhaps another one here. And yes, the echo balance is rather low. And we should be having... I still have lots of energy. So we could still build also another... Let's do this. Deacidification station. 10 tons of tools I need though. I'm using quite a lot of tools with the alcohol right now. There we can still squeeze in 1 more. That's fine. Lots of alcohol, additional alcohol coming, and then the acidification. Because it, as we can see, it is reducing the effectiveness, the equivalence right now. Not by a much, but at least by a bit. And we should keep that in mind. How is it looking? Lobster, I can already see, is coming in a lot. Oh yes, it's 27 tons. We're producing way too many lobsters. That's good though, right? So we don't need to produce that many, or we don't need to build that many lobster farms. And on the other hand though, truffles is coming in rather slowly. We are consuming all of it. So I think one of them is fine for 2 farms, right? So let's build 4 more farms. And boom, there we have them. I should upgrade that terminal here once more. And now we have drones here too. So this is dramatically speeding up the amount of truffles we get in. And that also means that I can have 2 more of these juicy gourmet factories. Very good. And that's basically all the resources I have. We could use the remaining materials. Oh, there's a fire, but let's just wait for it to be over. Gone it is. To build a few more tech houses, and I think the laboratory we could also... Oh no, that needs the carbon, and that is something we cannot build yet, or cannot produce yet. So let's just have our techies here. After all, we do need quite a lot of them. And there is also a big tech monument that we're going to need. And that's only the first district. Perhaps a few more down here. And that's it. We're running out of materials anyway. This should be enough. Let's also... they're already at the right amount of taxes. And that's it for them. For now. The escort has also started. So those ships are protecting that freighter from Tilda now. I'm not expecting a lot of resistance. So it's not that important. How much oil do we have now in Cyberpunk? 40. Alright. So we are getting a lot of oil over there. So we still have room for another or even 2 more crude power plants if I want to, right? So they are going to power Cyberpunk now as long as we need until we have the dam project ready as well. Legacy, our latest trading ship, is ready as well. What for? Well, the gourmet food, of course. We do need a trade route, an extra trade route on that, and that's the gourmet food. And for later, well, we could still use this trade, of course, for something else. Omicron to Cyberpunk, and in Omicron, we're taking the gourmet food that we have there, and in Cyberpunk, we are unloading that.
Warning.
This
Vehicle under attack.
further is going to increase our balance. There we actually have some resistance, but no problem. Has been destroyed. And the ship is still on its way.
Has been obtained.
And we've lost another share. Look at that, Vadim, you snake. He's got 2 of them now. 38,000 credits it costs to take over a share. But the cool thing about it is also we get dividends, right? So we would increase our balance with the shares. Let's just see how much worth an island from Vadim Sokov is. A share. We could purchase that, of course, as well. Only 5,000 credits. What? Oh, that's Strindberg. Where's Vadim? There's Vadim, I think.
Soka?
This should be it. It's 12,000 for a share here, right? And we could then purchase it here, but it's not a very good dividend. Only 37, so he's not that rich yet. I'm not wasting my money on that. But it's a good thing for later if we want to take over islands. We don't have to do this by force necessarily. We could also just purchase all the shares and take it over. And we definitely will need to soon because we're running out of islands. We only have 3 and we have lots of demands for a very hungry population. Very good. Professor Davy has the sugar beet seeds for 197 licenses. We can purchase that and get it over there to Neon right away. So Neon, we have then the wine and the sugar, and that's perfect because now we can then also start with our next productions. We do need a lot of space for that though. So the sugar is here and also on this side here perhaps. So the whole central part of the island is going to be used for this new production that we're going to establish here. The factory, we can have them in the, over here in the factory district where we already have our, well, basic food, our convenience food being stored up. Speaking of that, while the ship is on its way, how's it looking with those products? So alcohol, fish is good, convenience food is going down, right? So this is the major problem we had now with all the expansion. And I would like to, we do need basically, I think, more fish, more pigs. No, actually we don't. We have enough meat, but the flavor is something that we need more of. So the flavor labs. And we could also, because their productivity has been decreased, build one of these ones here, the acidification station. It's all about the steel. I should have a steel trader here though. There it is. Let's unload it all. And there we have the sugar seeds. Let's activate them.
New fertility available.
Perfect. And also now the acidification. Hector, you want 10,000 again? Yes, of course. And Engineer Richard wants to have a financial center for us.
That was cheap.
Alright, so we need to build that, otherwise we have an uprising. Let's build the deacidification over there, increasing our eco balance. Oh, energy is really low though. It's going to be a problem for the future productions. There's the flavor lab. I'm going to need a few of them, I think. So, oh yeah. Space, oh my goodness. Space is a real problem. So we are going to have war because of space. Because we are lacking it. I can already see that. Let's build 3 here. And also these. And I know with a bit more efficiency I could have a few more farms on each island. I know I'm not the most efficient one when it comes to the placement of these fields, but in reality it really is only about 10 to 20% that you lose. It doesn't make a difference in the long run. In the long run it makes a difference if you have an additional island or not. And we are going to need one soon. Why is this one here losing health? I think that might be a bug or something like that. Let's get them back to my fleet. And the flavor is hopefully coming in. We can let's build 2 more of these convenience food stores. And then I would like to go for my new production now. We have everything right? Yes. Let's build the vineyards first. Very good. 4 of them working now for us. And the same thing we basically need to do with the sugar. Let's have the sugar on the other side so that we still have lots of room. And once again, I'm going with 4. The vineyards took a lot of space. Oh, and I can see that the sugar is also going to take a lot of space. And another 4 of these farms here, and the only thing we now need is the winery or whatever it's called. The only thing I can see now is that the construction material trader was here and he took some tools and steel with us, so we need to wait there a couple of seconds. There we have them, the champagne cellars, so they need that. Since we've built 4 of either type, I think 2 for now will be fine, and we can basically do this down here. This is further reducing the energy. Alright, so another thing that we need to look out for, do we have coal still here? We have lots of coal, so let's just have to compensate that another coal power plant down here with my heavy factory or heavy industry. And by the way, we are also using fuel rods, right? We might be having a nuclear reactor here. The fuel rods, how many do we have? Okay, they just they just were taken. There it is, 7. And it's being brought down here. How much do we consume? We are actually increasing our amount of fuel rods. And Tor, come on. Stay away from my shares. And I might just, be able to afford a second one here. We probably will need that since we have so many productions here. We can have quite a lot of the sugar and wine, and also, well, pigs still. But this island eventually is going to be full of that. This is fine now. They're working. They're also full. I might actually build a third one of the champagne cellars. Let's just do this one. There we have it. And I only need now a trade route, and we do already have the burger plastic. So instead of having 2 burgers per route, I'm just going to have now 1 burger per route, and I'm going to also assign champagne to that. Should be fine because it's a very, very small and short trade route, right? So there's not that much distance, and it should never really be full, and it's not, as we can see anyway, right? Except for the plastic. And later on, we'll have a bigger ship on it, and it can take 10 twice as much once the production is really high. Oh, we're only at 40. Nope, I will need another ship already because the burger is full and is also being fully unloaded. Let's have a look. There we have it, container ship, another one, and this is going to be on the trade route. One last thing, the financial center. The financial center is a building that we need to build now because my people demand it, and it's a pretty big building. Where do we have it? There it is. That's the one. Look at how big that thing is and how small the radius. Insane. I will have to build so many of them. It's incredible. And yeah, we're going to have a few. Let's have one. I guess we have to build one here. We have the space for it. We could also build one here right next to the monument then, where we have lots of these buildings. I know that we're going to need a few of them, so one over there perhaps, one then in this area, and one over there later. For now, I would like to build it first without destroying too many buildings, and it requires a lot of space, as we can see, and we can only build it where I've built 2 roads there, right? So there, like this one here, we don't need to destroy anything else, so I think this is a good spot, where we also have some lower tier buildings as well. This is hurting, but it's necessary, and then we can, or should, squeeze it in. Let's get rid of that double road there. And there we have it. Boy, what a building, really. We've built it, we have fulfilled the quest there, and this is the last need actually for my engineers. And look at that, the champagne is coming in, the food is full, the participation is full. That means we can upgrade those engineers now pretty soon to the highest tech for the Tycoons. And that's going to unlock then the monument and the high-tech weapons that we need for some really big battleships. Stay tuned.
Registering new vehicle.